Hi everyone, this is Amitanand Pandey. Welcome to Benzene 66. Today we are going to discuss the concept of hybridization along with VSEPR theory and we'll find to get the structure of molecules. It's simple to be difficult, but it's difficult to be simple. So we'll try to make the things simple. So let's begin.
Hybridization is a process of intermixing of orbitals of nearly same energy to form the orbitals of identical energies and the shape. Why we need the concept of hybridization? That question arises. So for some molecules, the bond perimeters such as bond strength and bond length cannot be explained without considering the concept of hybridization. Remember one thing, the hybridization is completely imaginary phenomenon, but without considering the concept of hybridization, we cannot explain the formation of molecule such as CH4, where 1s and 3p orbitals are involved in the bond formation, but all the 4 bonds are identical, involving carbon and hydrogen. The next question arises, what are the rules of hybridization? So there are some definite rules for the hybridization. The first rule, the orbitals of only valence shell are involved in the process of hybridization. The orbitals having similar energies, those should have nearly the same energy, are involved in the process of hybridization. And in the process of hybridization, the electron promotion is not the condition, that is not required at all. All type of orbitals, those can be either half filled, vacant, or completely filled, can participate in the process of hybridization. Number of hybrid orbitals are equal to the hybridized orbitals. Hybrid orbitals, those are formed after hybridization, are of same energy and the shape. Hybrid orbitals form only sigma bonds. There is no pi bonds formed by the involvement of hybrid orbitals. Hybrid orbitals are arranged in space in accordance with VSEPR theory, valence shell electron pair repulsion. That theory explains the electrons must be arranged in space in such a way that the maximum distance or the minimum repulsion is to be experienced by the electron pairs. So we'll talk about the VSEPR theory, how that helps in finding the molecular structure of the molecules when we are getting the hybridization of various molecules. Now we'll see what are the different types of hybridization. The first one is sp hybridization, where 1s and 1p orbital is involved in the hybridization to form 2 hybrid orbitals. From that VSEPR theory, to acquire the position of minimum repulsion, these are acquiring maximum distance, that is there in 180 degree angle. So in sp hybridization, the bond angle is of 180 degrees. The 2 electron pairs around the central atom are arranged linearly for the minimum repulsion and for maximum distance. So the arrangement is linear and the bond angle is of 180 degrees. The next hybridization we are having involving 1s and 2p orbitals, that is sp2 hybridization, in which we are getting 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. These are arranged in triangular planar structure so that maximum distance can be maintained and the bond angle in between these electron pairs is of 120 degrees each. One more thing is to be noticed, when these s and p orbitals are intermixing, the new formed hybrid orbitals are having s as well as p character. The percentage of s and p character is depending upon their numbers. As in sp2, total 3 orbitals are involved in the process of hybridization. So 100 divided by 3, that is 33 approximately. 33% of s character will be there and 66% will be of p character. So the percentage of s and p character can be calculated by knowing their numbers. The next hybridization we are going to discuss is sp3 hybridization, where 1s and 3p orbitals lying in the px, py and pz axes are involved. New formed 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals are arranged in 3D space by making 109.5 degree bond angle to each other, and the structure of the arrangement is going to be tetrahedral. The exact bond angle is of 109 degrees and 28 minutes, so that is taken approximately 109.5 degrees. Here again you can calculate the S and P character in the 4 hybrid orbitals, as total 4 orbitals are there. So 100 divided by 4, that is 25. One S is there, so 25% will be S character and 75% of P character will be there in these 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. The next hybridization that we are going to discuss is sp3d or dsp3. So what is the difference between sp3d and dsp3? Just make it clear. sp3d means all the orbitals s, p and d are belonging to the same cell, say nth cell. In dsp3 hybridization, the d is belonging to the penultimate cell or the inner cell. As we know, while writing the electronic configuration using that Aufbau principle. For that Aufbau principle, you can see my one more video in that topic, Aufbau principle. 3d orbital is placed in between 4s and 4p orbitals. So when inner d, that means 3d, is mixed with 4s and 4p orbital, that is said to be dsp3 hybridization, where the D is belonging to the inner cell or penultimate cell. So when the inner D is involved in the process of hybridization, that is pronounced as dsp3. In the similar manner, we are having d2sp3 or d3sp3 hybridizations as well. Now there is one very important feature that is to be reminded while getting the structure of sp3d hybridization. Whenever you are having more than 4 orbitals are involved in the process of hybridization, 2 hybrid orbitals are going to be arranged perpendicular to the plane where all other hybrid orbitals are situated. So for the hybridization involving more than 4 orbitals, 5 or more, in that case 2 orbitals are acquiring perpendicular positions said to be axial position, and remaining means here 5 orbitals are involved, so 5 minus 2, that is 3. Other 3 are going to present there in the same plane, making triangular planar structure. So the triangular planar structure having 2 axial positions perpendicular to that triangular planar structure, and those are placed on the same plane, making that triangular planar structure, are said to be equatorial positions. So 2, those are present in the axial position, will have the bond angle is of 90 degrees, and other 3, those are lying on the same plane occupying the equatorial position, will have the bond angle is of 120 degrees. When you will have any lone pairs present over there, that is going to occupy the position of minimum repulsion, so that will occupy the equatorial position, and that is very important to decide the shape of the molecule. I'm going to make one more video for the shape of the molecules, how to determine the shape of the molecules for the various hybridization. So do watch that video, that is going to be released very soon. So the 5 dsp3 or sp3d hybrid orbitals are occupying the position. 2 are going to be placed on the axial position. Those are perpendicular to the plane where the equatorial orbitals are placed, making 120 bond angle with one another. Hybridization involving 1s, 3p and 2d orbitals is said to be sp3d2 or d2sp3 hybridization. Here sp3d2 or d2sp3 is in similar manner when the s, p and d are belonging to the same cell, that is said to be sp3d2, and when inner d is involved in the process of hybridization, that is said to be d2sp3 hybridization. By intermixing, total 6 sp3d2 or d2sp3 hybrid orbitals are forming there, and as I have told you, for the number greater than 4, 2 are occupying the perpendicular to the plane position, those are axial positions, and remaining 6 minus 2, that is 4, remaining 4 are going to occupy the plane where these are going to be arranged in the symmetric manner, that is going to be square planar. So overall structure is going to be square bipyramidal, but that is not pronounced like that. That is said to be octahedral, as it is having 8 sides over there. Here 2 are occupying the axial positions and remaining 4 orbitals are occupying the equatorial position, and all the bond angles are of 90 degrees each, and the structure is said to be octahedral, as I have told you. The hybridization involving 1s, 3p and 3d orbitals is said to be sp3d3 hybridization or d3sp3 hybridization. Total 7 hybrid orbitals are formed by mixing of these orbitals, and these are going to occupy pentagonal bipyramidal structure. You can easily find the arrangement of atoms here, as more than 4 orbitals are involved in the hybridization. So 2 are going to occupy the axial positions. 7 minus 2, that is 5. These 5 are going to be symmetrically arranged in the plane that is lying in between these 2 axial positions. The bond angle can easily be calculated for the equatorial position by 360 divided by 5. Total 5 positions are there, and that value is coming 72. So the orbitals, those are lying on the equatorial position, will have 72 degrees bond angle each, and 2 are present on the axial position, will have 90 degree bond angle. So you need not to remind what is going to be the bond angle and what is going to be the arrangement of various orbitals in 3D space. If that value is coming more than 4, then 2 are to be placed on the axial position and remaining are going to be placed on the equatorial position, and their bond angles can be calculated by just dividing by the number of sides those are present over there. One more hybridization that is possible, that is hypothetical, we are not having any live example for that, involving 1s, 3p and 4d orbitals, that is sp3d4 or d4sp3 hybridization. As we have discussed, here 2 axial positions are occupied and remaining 6 orbitals are going to occupy the position on the plane, making the bond angle of 360 divided by 6, that is 60 degrees. So 2 axial positions will have bond angle of 90 degrees and other 6 orbitals will have the bond angle of 60 degrees. And the structure is said to be hexagonal bipyramidal. Now one very important question arises: how to find the hybridization? If you have given any of the molecule, then how to determine what's going to be its hybridization? So I'm going to give you 2 ways. By using that, you can easily find the hybridization of the given molecule. So first of all, you have to find the atom or the central atom, for which you have to find the hybridization. In some organic compounds, you can have more than one central atom. For each of the carbon atom, you can find the hybridization there by using my first trick. For that, you have to just make the Lewis dot structure of that molecule, and then you have to calculate the value of n. That can be calculated by counting the number of atoms those are present around the central atom, for which you are calculating the hybridization. Add the number of lone pairs those are present there, and then add if any single electron is left while counting the lone pairs. That number cannot be more than 1, and you cannot count the lone pairs as 2 electrons. So the single electron cannot be more than 1. If the single electron is left over there by counting the lone pairs, then that is to be counted as 1. That single electron is generally found in the odd electron bonds. Otherwise, that single electron is not present. You just have to find the number of atoms around central atom and the lone pairs. Whatever n value you are getting, that is going to give you the type of hybridization. But first of all, we'll now see the second method to get the hybridization. Here again, you have to calculate the value of n. That can be calculated without making the Lewis dot structure of the molecule. That is not always applicable, especially for the multi-centric molecules. That method is not always going to work, but you should have the idea to get the hybridization without making the Lewis dot symbol. That formula is, here again you can calculate the value of n, that is equals to half of number of valence electrons that is present on any of the atom, central atom, for which you are calculating the hybridization. Add the number of monovalent atoms present in that molecule. Monovalent means that can be hydrogen, all the elements present in the first group, and the elements present in the 17th group, that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. All these are said to be the monovalent atoms. Plus, just give the negative charge or minus the positive charge if that is present on that species. If you are having any ion present over there, so you have to add the negative charge or you have to subtract the positive charge. So whatever value of n you are getting from these two methods, we are going to use that value of n to find the hybridization. From those two methods, if you have calculated the value of n and the value of n equals to 2, then the hybridization is going to be sp. For n equals to 3, that is sp2. For n equals to 4, it is sp3. For n equals to 4, that can also be dsp2. That is found in the coordination compounds. So you have to consider that dsp2 hybridization can also be possible. So we'll talk about the dsp2 hybridization in the video in which we'll talk about the shape of the molecules. When you are having that dsp2 hybridization, then the structure of the molecule is going to be square planar and not tetrahedral. So that is to be kept in your mind. For n equals to 5, the hybridization is going to be sp3d or dsp3. For n equals to 6, it is going to be sp3d2 or d2sp3. For n equals to 7, it is either sp3d3 or d3sp3. And for n equals to 8, that is sp3d3 or d4sp3. So while knowing the value of n, you can easily find the hybridization, and in that way you can get the structure of the molecules, how the arrangement of atoms around the central atom is going to be there. Also watch my next video to get the shape of the molecules when along with bonded pairs, some lone pairs or single electrons are also present. Do subscribe, share and like the channel if you want to get continuous video in chemistry in the simplest way. Subscribing and liking will encourage me to make more videos like this. So do subscribe Benzene 66. Thanks for watching.